Texas, currently in the Global Hotel on their first visit to Panama. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing awesome. Loving
Cool.
it.
Yes. Oh man, that's so good to hear. So, you guys are working with Matt Marks, and I remember Clint. You and I actually started talking. How long ago? Like 3-4 years ago, something like that.
It was January of 2015.
Oh boy, I love it. Well, you're doing it right. You did it right, and that's actually kind of the path that a lot of our clients follow is just doing their research. And one of the reasons I wanted to get y'all on camera, and thank you again for doing this, is very kind of y'all, is to kind of dispel some rumors or just misconceptions as far as what you thought you were going to see and what you ended up seeing, the good, the bad, the ugly. Maybe we can get into a little bit about what y'all have been looking at property wise and just kind of how things are going. So yeah, I'll just throw the first question out here. So obviously you're in Panama. This is your first visit. Clint, you've been researching for several years, many years now. What other countries were you looking at before you kind of narrowed down on Panama?
I was looking primarily in Mexico, Belize, and Ecuador.
Okay.
Were my top selections and locations prior to Panama.
Yep.
When I met my wife, which was many years ago, but she and I have different ideas of retirement. I want to live on the beach. She wants to be in a big city. And, you take Belize, which is beautiful and it's gorgeous, but there's not a big city life there.
Right.
You're not going to find huge malls and shopping and stuff like that. So I'd be happy she wouldn't be.
Sure.
And so finding that big cosmopolitan city that offers what we both wanted or both want, that also comes with a great cost of living.
Sure.
That's how we got onto Panama, because it offers the best of both worlds at great pricing.
Yeah, man, I could put that on a tagline: the best of both worlds at great pricing. No, it's true. So man, I mean, we exchanged many emails and calls. Matt, you're now working with Matt Marks, which is awesome. So you guys landed. When did you get in? About a week ago, something like that.
Last Saturday.
A week
Last
and a half
Saturday.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Saturday the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get out of the airport and of course you get hit with that tropical blast, right? You're like, yeah. Whoa, right? We are in the tropics now. So how has it been since you guys got here? Like, there's so many people, guys, that watch these that have, they're just like you guys that are starting their process. So please don't hold anything back. We try to be as public as possible about, customer service is a little bit, whatever. You're in another country, right? But no, please. So how is it? How has it been? How's the trip been? What were you expecting? What did you find?
Sure. I'll talk a little bit about Coronado, and she could talk a little bit about the city, since that's what we're both looking at. We spent the first week in Coronado.
Okay.
The people here are so beyond friendly.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Sweet people.
We met a couple, and we met them like on Facebook a month before we got here.
Okay.
And they live in Coronado, and they went and they took us to Boquete.
What?
They took us to David,
Costa Rica.
They let us stay in their house. They own a secondary house in David.
Okay.
And they let us stay in their house. Then they took us to Cologne
for the duty-free shopping.
Yeah,
okay, right on.
We've been everywhere other than like Bocas del Toro and the Volcan.
You got to save something for the next trip.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was great. Coronado is beautiful. I would say, as far as some of the differences, though, is
the volcanic black sand is a little different than the white sandy beaches I was expecting.
Fair. Yeah.
In Coronado, I would say um, I thought that I would be very happy just living on the beach
Right.
or the pool. But I would say, if you're younger, Panama City might be a possibly a better option for you because there's only so many restaurants in Coronado
Sure.
and the beaches to go to. So I'll let her talk a little bit about the city since we've been here and what she's really enjoyed.
Okay.
Well, the city reminds me of New York, right? Because there's so many skyscrapers around. We've been to the Albrook Mall so far, and that has 700 stores, over 100 restaurants, which is awesome. We've kind of been all over the city, been to different restaurants, eaten a lot of seafood, fresh fish. Going back to the Albrook today,
Okay.
so to cover it since it's so huge.
Right.
One thing that I want to say that a lot of people mention, and I was like, yeah, right. Okay, is the fact that people come here and they say they do nothing different with their diet, but they lose weight. And I was like, yeah, that's BS. It's not. Like, I'm a big boy, right? I like to eat. I've done nothing but eat since I've been here. I like to eat as much as my wife likes to shop.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, I have eaten everywhere: steak, chicken, fish, everything I like to eat. I've eaten more on vacation than I do back home.
Okay.
And I have lost weight. And the reason I know this is because I literally brought 2 shirts that I tried. They did not fit when I left, but I brought them as like going to the pool or going to the beach shirt, right?
Okay.
So I didn't care if they fit.
Sure.
And so I brought them, and they didn't even cover my whole stomach. It was terrible. Okay. I've literally put them on now, and the shirts literally fit. And I've only been here a week and a half. It's
something
crazy.
In the water.
I'm telling you, I think they just the Panamanian government. I think they don't allow all the stuff that might get put into your food in the United States. I don't think they allow all those types of things to be put in the food here in Panama. And so you're getting a much cleaner food option here, even though it's still steak. Like, even if you go to McDonald's, you can taste the absolute difference between a McDonald's burger here and a McDonald's burger in the United States.
Yeah.
And
agreed. I think that's the perfect comparison, Clint, because I mean, at the end of the day, McDonald's pretty much always gets things like lettuce and bread locally because you can't really ship that, right? And I've heard so many people over the years saying, like, even vegetables kind of, you can just taste them a little bit better, right? Like, just they're more distinct. So yeah, hey, I mean, come to Panama, lose weight, buy property. That's what I'm talking about. So, okay. So far, and let's hear more from Monique. So you guys have been in the city. Obviously, you've done Albrook. Have you done Multiplaza yet?
Not yet. We've gone to the Soho Mall.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Soho's kind of like it's catching up. It kind of shut down for COVID, and it's
empty.
Yeah, it has been for a while, even before COVID. But Multiplaza is cranking. Watch out, Clint. But there's plenty of places to eat there, so you can go grab a beer. Mama can do some shopping, and no. So okay, cool. Well, so you were researching Panama, and you were expecting kind of like this perfect mix between beach and mountains and all of that. Sounds like Coronado, not as hustling, bustling, not as much going on for you guys, so maybe gravitating more towards the city. What are some other things that were surprising, whether for the good or for the bad, about Panama?
Okay, for the bad.
Okay, shoot. Sorry, I can't hear you. We got bad reception.
The traffic here.
And the
crazy.
driving.
It's a little wild.
Like, I would recommend nobody getting a car for their first 6 months here because it's like, but what's crazy about it is it somehow works.
It works.
I mean, almost accidents, but it doesn't actually happen. You're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
correct.
It's like you witness almost 200 accidents between point A and point B.
Yes.
But they don't ever happen. And it's like everybody understands that, yeah, you're going to pull right out in front of this person,
Correct.
but that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Part
that
of the game.
it's
Part of the rhythm.
part of the game.
Yeah.
It is.
I love that. And sorry to interrupt. So my rule was, still is, just expect somebody to do something crazy because it's going to happen. Right. But the beautiful thing about that is that we don't have weird road rage instances. Right. Nobody gets offended because it's just part of the rhythm. Like, yeah, you cut me off. I'm going to, I'll get the next guy.
It's like, kudos to you, man. That was a good one.
For the win, sneaking in. There's a Spanish word for it called juega vivo, which is like, kind of play, do what you got to do. And that permeates throughout, different aspects, including on the road. But okay, cool. Yeah, traffic. The nice thing about Panama, at least Panama City, is that it's not a big city, so you get a lot of traffic. But even if it's bumper to bumper, you'll still kind of get there in like 45 minutes. And
the public transportation here is really good.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, if you live in the city, I really don't believe that you would need to have a car. I mean, I took an Uber. Granted, it wasn't all that far, but it was only $2.50
for the win.
You can take a cab for whatever, and then you can take a bus. I mean, you can take a bus all the way from Coronado to Panama City, and I think it's $3.
Yeah, it's something
like
insane.
It's an hour and 45-minute commute and $3.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's awesome. It's like living in Manhattan, New York. I mean, you really don't need a car. They've got subways, they have buses. I think there's trains, taxi cabs, and Ubers.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's doable, definitely. So let's steer a little bit towards the real estate side. So, you had been doing your research. You guys are based in Texas. I know up in the U.S. it's a pretty crazy real estate market. How has it been in terms of looking at stuff? Like, what have you guys found in terms of, the good, the bad, and the ugly there?
Well, go ahead.
Walk-in closets and soap tubs are not a thing here.
Oh, yeah. I was like, we do have some walk-in closets, but not that many. You're right. Soaking tubs, no, but they're available for sale, for the record. We got guys that can install. But you're right, Monique. Absolutely. Yeah, no, keep going. Sorry.
No, I think the overall price for what you get here is amazing. I mean, we've looked at properties here, 2,000 square feet or almost on the 39th, 40th floor on the water with the most gorgeous views that you could imagine. And in Miami, it would easily be $1 million property.
Yeah.
And here it's like 200,000. So it's just a quality of life that most Americans would not be able to afford in America. So the pricing is just amazing.
And the views are amazing too.
Yeah, the views are sensational. I mean, you have ocean views, you have city views.
Yeah.
Some places you can have both views.
Totally.
You've got the coastal what is it? The Del Este, where the big park. And everyone jogs and.
Well, there's the Cinta Costera on Balboa Avenue. Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's like a miniature Central Park. It's absolutely wonderful. The properties that you can get here, and the property taxes. I mean, I have a property that. I'll just say it. It's about $300,000 in Texas, and I pay $9,000 a year in property taxes. $9,000.
That adds up.
And here, you're looking at these $200,000 properties, and you're looking at $600 a year, and that's if you don't have an exoneration.
Exactly.
I mean, it's incredible. So $9,000 a year to $600 a year. I mean, that's
up.
$700. That's $700 a month or so.
Yeah, no, it totally adds up. Oh my gosh, this I had no idea you guys were going to say all these glowing things. This is great. We got to have you on every week. Well, you know let's try to dig a little deeper in terms of Panama in general or the real estate. Actually, you know what, before I know you and Matt were looking at properties, and I think he had presented some financing options, so that I think kind of surprised you guys in terms of what's really out there. Maybe you could speak to that a little bit in terms of what you were expecting and then what you actually found.
Yes, I think this is absolutely so important. So anybody in the United States or anywhere really that is thinking that they might not have all the money to buy something here because you need cash, I just want you to listen to this because this was a game changer for me. Um, in a lot of countries you can't get financing, or if you do get financing, it's 12%, 15%, etc. So you kind of have to pay cash.
Yeah.
But here in Panama, they have amazing financing options. If you go with a brand new build, a lot of the developers offer you financing where you only have to put 30% down, and they'll finance it for you over, like, say, a 5-year period. And then of course you got to do something in 5 years,
Sure.
whether or not you get a loan, something like that. But and it's very simple, it's not a convoluted process, it's very easy. um, and then if you decide to buy something that's maybe not brand new in a development, a lot of owners of properties will actually do their own owner financing for you with 30% down and an interest rate of, say, 5%, which is fantastic. And then they also have bank financing where you can actually go through a bank and get a 25-year loan. Interest rate's a bit higher, 7-8%, but still, to be able to get a loan in another country, and you could buy something now versus having to save money for 10 or 20 years to buy something in cash. It's awesome. So they have a lot of financing options here that can take you from, oh, I'm not ready to buy a property, I can't afford it yet, to, wow, I do have enough money to put this down payment. I can rent out the property, cover my mortgage or almost cover my mortgage, let other people pay off our property for us. And
Exactly.
then
Build equity.
that's our goal. We're buying something, we're gonna rent it out for the next 18 years until I retire. And when we retire, we'll have other people that have paid off our mortgage for us by renting it, and we get to move here into a beautiful place and not owe a single dime on the property and just go to live. I'm versus waiting your whole life to save up
Do
money,
something like
and
that.
then when you retire, sell your house, and then have to take all the money from the sale of that house, put it into your house here. And yes, you have a nice place, but you no longer have any money left from the sale of your house. Where if you do it now, man, you can buy it in
Yeah.
2021 dollars, right? Because it's 200,000 right now.
Yep.
20 years from now, if you wait and buy it when you retire, that same $200,000 condo is going to be 300,000 or 400,000.
Sure.
So it's great to pre-plan this if you can do it.
No, absolutely. And, it's always nice because you got a little place in Panama. So you got a reason to go down, like your tenant is out. It's like, oh, well, hon, let's go to Panama next month when our apartment is empty for a week or 2 weeks. So it's like an excuse to come back down, which is lovely. And gives one a reason to work hard. So cool. So yeah, let's see. What else can we cover? I mean, any other, I wouldn't want to end on a negative note, but any other things that kind of caught you by surprise that you think people should know about in terms of, hey, get ready for this? Or, you mentioned traffic. Obviously it's hot and humid. That's how we like it. And it certainly depends on the season, but it's almost always, above 85 degrees down there. Yeah, I mean, what do you got? Any other things that we can kind of tell people on the just being
I mean,
candid?
I would say, you have people out there that are like, oh, you can live on $700 a month in Panama City, and those things that you read, that's not really true.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, there's probably parts in Panama where you could, but in the city, not so much.
No.
Obviously, much less than a city in the United States.
Yeah.
But some of your pricing and things like when you go out to eat or you go shopping, it's not always going to be drastically less than the United States. However, you can, if you know where to go. Like we went and got a traditional Panamanian meal, and it came with steak, plantains, beans, and all that, and it was $4.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Crab legs, filet mignon is
yeah,
definitely less expensive here.
I got
Well, yeah.
I got 4 huge lobster tails. Okay, 4 for $25. You can't even get one lobster tail in America for $25.
Yeah. And you
So
finish
if
it
you
off
know where to go,
a $1 cold beer right after, or
yeah,
$3
you know,
glass of wine.
So, I think if you know where to go, and you stay out of the super touristy areas, you really can get great meals at great prices. But you're not just going to go everywhere and, spend $3 on a full blown meal or,
Right.
get
Sure.
something crazy for, 90% less than in the United States. So just having some realistic expectations for what it is that you're going to get. But overall, um, the cost of living here and your retirement, or if you're working from home, you can live a life here that you could never live in a major US city.
Yeah.
Right. I'll also add that I was told, and I know this depends on what area of Panama you live in, but
Yep.
um, everyone speaks Spanish. I haven't found many people that are bilingual. Now, I've been a little handicapped here because I've had a friend who's been translating for me. So it's like, okay, well, can you find me this Mexican boots or whatever? And she translates. But if I were by myself, I would be on my phone like, oh my gosh, okay, how do I say this? And like passing the phone back and forth or reading. So
Yeah.
that was something that was different for me.
True. Absolutely. Well, I think and hopefully your experience has been the same. It sounds like you guys have, ran into some great Panamanians along the way. But in my experience, having traveled, you guys have traveled also around the world. I think Panamanians are some of the most just like they could care less if you're foreign or not. Like, or even just like, they're super cool about it. It's never weird. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you don't speak Spanish. Yeah, let's play the back and forth phone game. It's not like, Paris or something where they just kind of, crinkle their nose and like, oh, you don't speak a French. You guys have found that to be the case as well.
Oh yeah, people
Cool.
here are so nice.
Yeah.
And they can put their little bit of English and our little bit of Spanish.
Spanglish, we're married.
And
Right?
and
Make
between
it work.
the 2 languages, we figure it out. And so it's pretty cool. But Spanish is not a hard language to learn. And I think just by being down here, and if you put in any effort at all, within a relatively short period of time, you'll know enough Spanish to be able to get by and have conversations and things like that. But it's not like Belize where the native language is English and everyone's going to speak English. But I certainly would not let that stand in your way of coming here, because you can still get by. Everyone has Google Translate.
Right.
You can do what you need to do. And like I said, if you put in any effort at all, you can learn enough Spanish to be able to be conversational with people.
To hang. Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, you guys are still on vacation, so I don't want to go, monopolizing too much of your time, but thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. I think it's going to be helpful as people come across it and as we're doing it live. So, yeah, thanks again, guys. And go ahead, Clint. Of course.
I would like to say, and I'm not just saying this because, you own the company and because Matt is my agent, but I will say through my research, real estate agents are not all created equal here in Panama.
Sure.
The laws are not exactly the same in the United States. So finding a high quality real estate agent and real estate company is absolutely imperative here. You guys are phenomenal. You
Thanks.
guys know the market. There's not really an MLS here. There is, but there's not. You know, it's not like in the United States where you can just go find comps and things like that.
Yep.
So you need a good agent that really can tell you, yes, this is a good deal. Yes, this is what stuff is selling for in the area, because you can't just publicly go see it. And having a real estate agent that doesn't take advantage of you, that has your best interest at hand. Um, and I feel very comfortable and very safe with Panama Equity.
Thank you.
And so I would. Um,
I love it. Somehow the window minimized right as you were given such a nice endorsement. I don't know if the internet went out where y'all are, but thank you so much for those kind words. And yeah, guys. So we'll sign off. I'm just gonna hit stop on the broadcast. I want to keep chatting with you guys, but thanks again for doing it. For sure. Okay.